Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Nature Channel. Tonight, you and I will drift into one of the quietest places in the universe, a place where light leans inward, where time softens into something slow and gentle, and where the cosmos folds itself into a calm secret. Yes, tonight's journey is a peaceful voyage toward a black hole, not the frightening kind you hear about in stories, but the quiet, dreamy version shaped only for sleep and wonder. So, take a long breath, let your shoulders loosen, and allow your mind to float as if gravity has decided to let you move however you wish. If you enjoy these calm journeys, feel free to like and subscribe. It helps other sleepy travelers find their way here too. And now, let's begin. You start by imagining yourself surrounded by a soft, velvet dark sky. The stars feel close, almost like lanterns suspended within reach. Each one glimmers gently, pulsing as if breathing with you. As you drift forward, the stars seem to open space like curtains, revealing a wide river of darkness far ahead. At first it looks like emptiness, but soon you notice that it's more like a slow whirlpool, a circular quietness that doesn't pull. It simply invites. As you move closer, you notice something serene. The light around you bends ever so slightly, as if the space itself is rippling, not sharply, not suddenly, just a tender ripple, like heat above a summer road or waves around a resting boat. This is the outer border of the black hole's gentle influence, known as the region where everything begins to drift inward with a little more ease. A subtle glow surrounds this dark center. It's not harsh or bright, more like a halo formed from ancient starlight stretched into delicate threads. These threads circle slowly, golden and soft, drifting around the black hole like petals caught in a peaceful spiral breeze. You feel no fear, only curiosity. The space here is quiet in a way you've never felt before. Even your thoughts feel hushed, softened by the calm gravity. You glide past a field of dust that shimmers like powdered glass. Every particle seems to float in a state of total comfort, moving according to a rhythm older than stars. This dust became warm millions of years ago, warmed by the gentle friction of drifting toward the black hole. Now it glows faintly, illuminating your path like lanterns set along a dark river. As you drift farther inward, time itself begins to stretch. You notice the movement of the stars slowing, as though the universe is letting you savor every moment. Your breath deepens without effort. Your heartbeat matches the slow swirl around you. There is no rush here, only spaciousness. In this quiet current, you notice small clumps of light, stars that once wandered too closely and were slowly unspun into soft ribbons. These ribbons float around you like long cosmic silk, shimmering in cool tones of silver and blue. Even in transformation, everything here feels peaceful. The universe seems to recycle light the way forests recycle water, turning endings into beginnings so gently you barely notice the shift. The closer you come, the more the darkness in the center feels almost alive, not in a frightening way, but like a deep, still lake where nothing disturbs the water. It feels ancient, steady, and patient. You reach out with your senses and notice that even sound behaves differently. There is no echo, no noise, just a restful hush, a silence so complete it feels like a soft blanket around your thoughts. You pass a region where light circles many times before moving on, like fireflies dancing in loops. These orbits last for moments or centuries. Time doesn't have the same meaning here. You drift alongside them letting their soft glow reflect across your path. It feels like watching the world slow down around sunset, that moment when everything shifts into gold and quietness, suspended between day and night. Then, gently, you approach the threshold, the soft boundary where gravity becomes all-encompassing, where the universe folds inward without haste. It doesn't feel like a cliff or a fall. It feels like a doorway made of calm and shadow, a place where time becomes a deep exhale, a place where everything is held, embraced, and guided inward with infinite patience. Before crossing, you take in one last view of the universe behind you. Stars stretch into graceful arcs, like strokes of luminous paint. Space glows in shades of violet and silver, and somewhere far away, you imagine Earth, small, blue, and quiet, turning slowly beneath the warmth of its sun. You face the threshold again. It doesn't pull you, it simply waits, a silent invitation, and with a peaceful inhale, you drift forward. You drift through the threshold as if passing into a deeper layer of night. Nothing tugs at you, nothing rushes you. Instead, the space around you becomes even softer, more muted, as though the universe has placed a warm hand on your shoulder and asked you to slow down with it. The darkness here isn't empty. It feels textured, like velvet folded in countless gentle layers. Each fold seems to hold quiet memories of stars that once passed this way. As you continue inward, time stretches even further. Seconds unfurl into long, peaceful moments. The soft halo of light behind you fades into a faint arc, shimmering like a distant shoreline. Ahead, the darkness becomes smooth and uniform, almost glowing with its own quiet confidence. You're not falling, you're floating, as though carried by a slow, invisible current. Tiny glints appear throughout the darkness, not stars, but particles of light that have been slowed into near stillness. They hover like dust caught in a single sunbeam. Some drift past your hands, leaving faint trails of silver that fade like sleepy sparks. Their presence makes the space feel gentle, as if the black hole is not swallowing light, but cradling it. As you move deeper, you realize the silence has changed. It feels layered, like hearing the quiet hum of a distant tide. This isn't actual sound, but the sensation of being wrapped in a place where every movement is softened. Even your thoughts seem to settle into a slower rhythm. Anything that felt urgent or heavy before this moment melts away like mist under morning sunlight. You notice a slow swirl of color appearing far ahead, not bright or sharp, but subtle hues reminiscent of twilight. Hints of lavender drift like watercolor on dark paper. These colors aren't coming from light escaping the black hole. They're reflections of your own perception stretching, bending, and settling into a new harmony. It feels almost like entering a dream that has been waiting for you. Floating closer, you pass a long, gentle arc of captured starlight, circling around you. It looks like the ring of a distant planet, yet it moves with extraordinary calm. The starlight spirals in slow, almost meditative loops, each one radiating with a soft glow. You drift through these loops, and they pass around you like ribbons of calm wind. For a moment, you imagine you can feel their warmth, like the memory of sunlight resting on your skin. Farther ahead, space begins to shimmer in strange but soothing ways. Straight lines curve softly, as though the universe has chosen to relax its rules here. Shapes drift in and out of view, not physical objects, but impressions, echoes of the world outside. A galaxy flickers as if painted on water. A star stretches into a long, delicate thread. Nothing feels distorted in a frightening way. Everything feels as though it's being rearranged into a slower, more patient form. You sense your own motion shifting too, not speeding up or slowing down exactly, more like gliding through syrupy time. Your heartbeat feels steady, your breathing smooth. You aren't separate from this place. You're becoming part of its rhythm. The boundary between where you end and where the space begins feels faint, like a shoreline blending into fog. Then you drift into a region where the darkness takes on a new quality, almost luminous, but without color. It feels like a soft presence, as though the black hole has a gentle interior glow made from compressed time itself. You let it surround you, and it feels like stepping into a warm, silent room after a long journey. Here, distant memories rise and fall without effort, not loud, not sharp, just gentle impressions of moments that shaped you. A warm morning, a long breath taken near a window, the quiet of early snow. They float around you like soft lanterns, not pulling you backward, only reminding you how vast your inner universe has always been. The deeper you go, the more space feels like a calm ocean. Waves of time roll slowly beneath you. Ripples of light dance at the edges of your vision. Nothing is fixed, yet nothing is chaotic. Everything simply drifts. Even gravity feels softened, as if the black hole is guiding you with infinite tenderness. Then, ahead, you see what looks like a soft boundary. Not an edge, not a wall, but a faint shimmer. It vibrates gently, like the horizon you see when looking across a warm desert or a quiet lake. This is the region where space and time themselves begin to blend more deeply, transforming into something smoother and quieter than anything you've ever known. You move toward it without hesitation, as though your body and the space agree on the direction. The shimmer widens, welcoming you. For a moment, you pause, suspended in the soft glow, feeling the universe breathe around you. It feels like standing at the entrance of a dream you somehow remember from long ago. With a final deep inhale, you drift into that shimmer, and everything becomes quieter still. As you pass through the shimmering layer, the space around you deepens into an even softer darkness. Not empty, not cold, but warm in a strange, comforting way. The darkness feels almost silky, as if woven from threads of quiet time. You float without effort, carried by a gentle inward drift, like a leaf gliding on a calm, midnight river. Nothing presses on you, nothing rushes you. Everything here moves with the patience of a universe that has forgotten the meaning of hurry. Ahead, you notice something unexpected. Faint patterns blooming in the dark. They appear slowly, like mist forming shapes above a still lake. These patterns aren't solid or bright. They're simply gentle gradients of shadow and glow, expanding and dissolving in slow, rhythmic pulses. They remind you of the way moonlight dances beneath a thin layer of clouds. Subtle, soothing, and endlessly changing. These pulses feel like a heartbeat, though not your own. It is as if the black hole itself has a slow rhythm, a quiet cycle of inward motion that hums through the space around you. When the pulse expands, the darkness becomes lighter, like charcoal brushing into silver. When it contracts, everything melts into deep velvet again. Each wave washes through you, loosening something inside your chest you didn't know was tense. You continue drifting, and gradually you notice that the space around you behaves differently. Distances seem to stretch softly, like fabric being pulled in slow motion. A faint glimmer appears far ahead. A delicate thread of light stretched so thin it seems almost imaginary. When you look closer, you realize it is the ghost of a star, its light slowed into something like a soft ribbon. It floats beside you for a long moment, then dissolves like breath on a cold window. The deeper you move, the gentler everything becomes. The darkness has no sharp edges. Gravity no longer feels like a pull, more like a warm, guiding hand resting lightly on your back. You feel supported, held, even buoyant. Thought and space blend together here, and your mind feels just as weightless as your body. All around you, light from the universe outside is being reshaped. It forms long arcs that drift like illuminated smoke trails, each one curling and looping in slow spirals. Some arcs shimmer in pale gold, others glow in soft blue. They circle you like cosmic brushstrokes, painting the space in calm, fluid motions. For a moment, it feels as if you are inside a vast, silent watercolor. As you drift through these spirals, you feel something unusual, a sense of stillness that reaches deep inside you. Time feels less like a ticking sequence and more like a warm pool you're floating in. Moments expand and fold into one another, not disappearing, but layering softly like thin sheets of silk. You realize you could stay in this place for hours or years, and they might feel the same. Far ahead, the darkness begins to brighten, not with light, but with an almost luminous softness. Space seems to thicken slightly, like entering a region filled with gentle fog. This fog doesn't obscure your vision, it softens everything, smoothing out even the tiniest detail. Shapes drift by you, round and smooth, like bubbles of time floating without direction. When they pass through you, you feel a soft warmth, as if touching a memory of sunlight. These bubbles carry echoes of the universe you came from. Faint impressions of shifting galaxies, gentle rotations of planets, even the whisper of starlight. You're not seeing them exactly. You're feeling their presence, the way you might sense warmth from a candle behind your eyes. It's as if the black hole is gathering all the quiet stories of the cosmos and letting them float here, safe and untouched. You glide deeper still. The fog-like glow thickens just a little before giving way to a serene darkness once more. Here, the space feels deeper than anything you've known. Not heavy, just vast, as if the universe widened inward instead of outward. You sense that this is a region very few things reach, a place where everything slows to its gentlest form. Suddenly, you notice faint ripples across the darkness. They move like the softest waves across a distant lake. These ripples are not made of water, but of space-time itself, carrying subtle vibrations from the outside universe. Perhaps a distant star gently shifting, or a quiet interaction between galaxies. The black hole receives these ripples and smooths them, turning them into lulling motions that pass through you like calming winds. For a long moment, you simply float and breathe. The ripples fade. The pulses slow. Time feels like a deep exhale. And then you see it, a soft glow emerging from the very core ahead, not bright, not intense, more like the faint blush of dawn behind a distant hill. It pulses slowly, calmly, like the smallest ember of warmth in an endless night. This glow feels inviting, like a space within the space. a deeper layer calling you closer with a quiet, ancient kindness. You feel no hesitation, only curiosity, only peace. You drift toward it, letting your body and mind expand into the calm, and the glow begins to open like a blooming petal made of pure silence. The soft glow ahead unfolds slowly like a petal unfurling in warm twilight. It doesn't brighten sharply, instead it spreads gently, like dawn spilling over a quiet landscape. The darkness around you shifts from deep velvet to a warm, muted haze, as though space itself is exhaling. You drift toward it without effort, guided by a subtle current that feels almost like a heartbeat beneath the surface of the cosmos. As you enter this glowing region, the air, or whatever passes for air in a place beyond ordinary time, feels warmer, softer. Not physically warm, but warm in the way a memory feels when it rises from someplace deep inside you. The glow surrounds you like a blanket woven from the slowest, calmest light you've ever seen. It doesn't overwhelm, it simply rests. Around you, floating shapes emerge, each one delicate and smooth. They look like spheres at first, but as you approach, you see they shift gently, changing shape like soap bubbles drifting through golden air. These forms pulse faintly, as if breathing in rhythm with the glow. Some are pale blue, others soft lavender, and some nearly transparent, each one moving with a calm intelligence that feels ancient and kind. You drift closer to one of the spheres. It tilts slightly toward you, as though acknowledging your presence. For a moment, its surface ripples, showing a faint reflection of something familiar, a distant planet, a quiet sea, perhaps even a moment from your own life. But the image dissolves before your mind grasps it fully. The sphere drifts away with a gentle pulse, continuing its slow, aimless wandering. This place feels unbound by any of the rules you once knew. There is no up or down, no clear direction. Movement feels effortless, guided more by intention than by motion. When you think of drifting forward, your body glides like a feather caught in a warm breeze. When you imagine pausing, the space respects your wish, holding you in perfect stillness. In the distance, you see long, soft waves of light flowing like curtains in a gentle wind. They stretch across the space in slow arcs, bending and folding in graceful motion. The waves seem to hum silently as they pass, carrying whispers of the universe that existed before you entered this place. But the whispers aren't voices, more like impressions. A star cooling into its final red glow, a planet turning slowly in a peaceful orbit, a cloud of cosmic dust drifting through calm darkness. As the waves pass, you feel a soothing heaviness settle through your body, not fatigue, more like the way your limbs feel when you're drifting into sleep, when everything becomes weighted and peaceful. The glow around you responds to this relaxation, becoming slightly warmer, as though the black hole recognizes your calm and mirrors it back to you. You drift deeper, passing through a curtain of pale gold light. It feels like moving through warm water, even though nothing touches your skin. On the other side, the darkness shifts again. Here, shadows are soft and mild, blending into the glow like watercolor. You feel as if you're floating in a vast, gentle cloud where time is dissolved into a slow, soothing rhythm. In this quiet space, you begin to notice something subtle, patterns forming in the glow around you. They ripple outward in circular waves, like rings on a calm pond. At first, You think they might be echoes from your own movement. But then you realize they're not responding to you at all. They're responding to something deeper, something within the black hole itself. Each ripple carries a feeling with it. Not an emotion exactly, but a sensation of spaciousness, like encountering a memory you never experienced firsthand, a star being born somewhere far beyond, a quiet shift in the galaxy's ancient spirals, the soft decay of light as it settles into the slow realm. All of these impressions flow past you, not demanding your attention, simply drifting like petals on a tranquil stream. As you continue to move inward, the glow sharpens ever so slightly. A soft horizon appears ahead, shaped like a smooth, luminous dome. It pulses gently, like the slow breathing of a colossal, sleeping being. You feel an instinctive understanding that this is not a barrier. It is another transition, another layer of this deep interior space. The closer you drift, the more peaceful everything becomes. Your thoughts grow lighter. Your breath deepens. Even your sense of self begins to loosen at the edges. Like mist blending with the surrounding air, you don't disappear. You simply soften, expanding into the calm that fills this realm. Just before you reach the glowing dome, the space around you becomes incredibly still. The shifting lights pause, the soft currents settle. Even the faint pulses of the black hole's heart quiet themselves, as if giving you a moment to rest before moving on. The dome brightens gently, inviting you inward. Its surface glows like pearl at sunset, warm and silent. You feel no fear, only the sense that you are stepping into a place where the universe stores its deepest calm. With a slow inhale, you drift forward, and the dome opens like a blooming flower of light. The dome opens around you with remarkable softness, as though its structure is made of light that has forgotten how to resist anything. You cross its threshold without even realizing the exact moment of passage. One moment, you are drifting toward its pearlescent glow, and the next, you're inside a vast chamber where the light feels warmer, rounder, almost like the glow you see when closing your eyes in sunlight. The chamber stretches far in all directions, yet it doesn't feel overwhelming. Instead, it feels intimate, like being inside a warm echo of the universe. The air, or the gentle presence that replaces air here, carries a faint shimmer that settles on your skin like the softest mist. It brings with it a feeling of profound ease, as if this place knows exactly how to cradle any lingering tension inside you. You float deeper into the chamber, and the glow adjusts around you. It brightens in gentle waves, not to illuminate, but to welcome. Every pulse feels like a slow, steady breath from the heart of the black hole, a breath not of air, but of calm. You sense that this chamber is a place where gravity folds itself into comfort, where time lays down its burdens, and where light moves only when it chooses to. Slow, flowing patterns begin to appear along the chamber's interior. They resemble currents on the surface of a tranquil sea, rippling in pale silver and soft rose. These patterns move with such grace that it seems they are not simply drifting. They are listening, responding, balancing themselves to your presence. Each wave aligns itself with your breath, as though the chamber has gently synchronized its rhythm with yours. In the distance, you see clusters of floating shapes emerging. They rise like lanterns from a dim shoreline, drifting upward in slow spirals. Each cluster glows differently, some in muted amber, others in deep blue, and some in nearly invisible, transparent hues. As they rise and fall, they leave shimmering trails that dissolve like dust caught in morning light. You float closer to one of them, and as you do, the trails shift into gentle arcs that bend around you. They never touch you, yet you feel their influence. A sensation like warm fingers brushing through your hair. Familiar and soothing, these drifting clusters seem to be remnants of light softened by endless time. They're not memories exactly, but impressions of events that once flickered in distant corners of the universe. One cluster drifts lower, slowing until it almost pauses in front of you. Inside it, you see faint movements, spirals, ripples, the outline of something turning gently. For a moment, it feels like you're gazing into the softened echo of a galaxy seen from afar. Not a real galaxy, but the memory of one compressed into a single moment of gentle glow. The cluster drifts upward again, carrying its quiet stories with it. As you watch it rise, the chamber subtly shifts. The floor, if you could call it that, begins to ripple like a sea stirred by an invisible breeze. Patterns swirl outward in perfect circles, overlapping and merging in a dance too slow and too peaceful to be called motion. The ripples carry with them feelings rather than images. You sense the calm of drifting stardust, the slow turning of planetary rings, the hush of vast cosmic clouds folding over themselves. The black hole does not seem like a place where things end. It feels more like a place where everything rests, a deep archive of softness, a sanctuary for light that has grown tired of rushing across space. Here, light appears to rediscover its slower nature. Instead of racing through the universe, it settles into gentle pools and softly drifting currents. You drift toward the center of the chamber, where the glow gathers most intensely. It is not bright, it is thick, like warm fog lit from within. Standing, or floating, inside it feels like being embraced by a cloud made of the most peaceful evening light. The warmth isn't physical, it's emotional, like the comfort of remembering something kind without needing to recall the details. As the glow wraps around you, your thoughts begin to stretch, not outward, but inward. Each breath feels long, smooth, and unhurried. The edges of your awareness soften, like ink diffusing through water. You sense that the chamber is gently opening something inside you, something spacious and unbound, like a quiet inner horizon you had forgotten existed. Within this glow, faint lines begin to take shape. They're subtle, delicate, like threads suspended in mist. The lines curve gracefully, intertwining in slow arcs. They aren't objects, they are pathways through the softened fabric of time. For a moment, you sense multiple possibilities drifting around you, each one a gentle thread leading deeper into this serene space. None of them demand anything. They simply offer directions for your drifting mind. The chamber pulses again, slow and warm. Light folds around you like a closing petal, not trapping you, but guiding you to the next layer. The lines before you brighten, each one humming with a subtle glow. They converge toward a distant point, forming a soft corridor of light that seems to lead inward, deeper than anything you've yet experienced. The chamber seems to whisper, not with words, but with a feeling, that you are ready to move forward, that the next space holds an even quieter form of calm, that the journey inward is just beginning to reveal its gentlest truths. You breathe in once more, letting the glow settle into your chest, and with effortless motion, you drift toward the converging light, letting the calm pull you softly into the next horizon. The gentle corridor of light welcomes you with the softness of a warm exhale. It doesn't appear suddenly. Instead, it slowly emerges as you drift forward, as though the chamber itself is shaping a path just for you. The walls of this corridor, if they can even be called walls, are made of slow-moving light, shifting in smooth gradients from pale gold to quiet blue. Each color blends seamlessly into the next, like long brushstrokes on a tranquil sky. As you glide inside, the corridor seems to respond to your presence. The light brightens slightly around your outline, forming a soft, comforting halo. The sensation reminds you of walking through a forest where leaves part gently overhead, allowing sunlight to rest on your shoulders for a moment before returning to shade. Here, though, there is no sun and no shadow, just a constant peaceful glow that moves with you like a faithful companion. You drift farther in, and something remarkable happens. The air, or whatever breathable stillness surrounds you, begins to shimmer with delicate threads. They stretch across the corridor like strands of silk, shimmering with faint colors that shift each time you breathe. These threads feel alive, but not in a way that demands attention. They drift lightly around you, rising and falling as though carried by an invisible tide. As you reach out toward one, it curves away with a soft ripple, not out of fear, but out of playfulness, like a small fish gliding just beyond your fingertips. Another thread drifts closer, brushing your hand with the gentlest sensation. Not touch, but memory. When it passes, you suddenly feel the echo of a calm morning somewhere in your past. Cool air, a quiet room, and a window glowing with early dawn. But the memory fades as gently as it arrived, leaving behind only warmth and ease. These threads are not memories themselves, but impressions, soft echoes created by the slowing of time within the black hole. They gather the world's quietest moments and let them drift like dust caught in a sunbeam. You move through them as though wading through a warm tide, each thread offering a new sensation of peace, each ripple smoothing your breath even further. Far ahead, you notice the corridor beginning to widen. The light folds outward like petals opening to reveal a deeper interior. As you approach, the shimmering threads gather into slow spirals, drifting upward in gentle arcs. They resemble constellations drawn not with stars, but with soft strands of light. The shapes move, growing and fading in slow rhythm, as though demonstrating the universe's most patient choreography. As you drift into the widened space, the corridor changes tone. The colors deepen into soft purples and warm embers, and the air feels slightly thicker, embracing you like a warm bath. The space around you begins to hum, not with sound, but with sensation. You feel the hum in your chest, like a soothing vibration resonating through your breath. It's calming, grounding, like the feeling of listening to rain against a window late at night. In the center of this widened chamber, you see floating forms unlike anything before. They look like spheres, yet not quite solid. Each one glows from within, filled with swirling light that moves in slow, hypnotic spirals. Some are small, glowing softly like sleeping fireflies. Others are larger, their interiors rippling with patterns reminiscent of the northern lights. You drift closer to one of the larger spheres, and it brightens in response. As it rotates gently, its interior reveals scenes, not literal images, but sensations shaped into light. A coastline somewhere, waves folding onto sand in endless repetition. A quiet storm cloud drifting over a field. A star turning slowly in its final peaceful glow. These are the softest versions of cosmic stories, not moments of violence or chaos, but the quiet breaths between them. The sphere drifts away and you move deeper. The corridor behind you fades, melting into the chamber like a dream dissolving at dawn. Ahead, another pathway begins to form. Not a corridor this time, but a long, gentle slope of light that curves downward like a slide made of starlight. It feels welcoming, inviting you to follow its drifting descent. Before you glide onto the slope, the air around you thickens with a soft, velvety glow. You feel weightless, but in a comforting way, as if the space is holding you with invisible arms. Your thoughts slow even more, settling like leaves drifting onto still water. Here, even the concept of time feels optional. Moments don't pass, they settle and bloom softly around you. You lean into the glowing curve, and your body begins to glide downward with effortless grace. The slope feels warm beneath you, supporting you like a gentle hand. As you slide smoothly through the glowing space, faint lights appear on either side, long lines stretching into the distance, pulsing like the quiet heartbeat of the universe. These lights shift as you move, bending slightly, adjusting to your pace. They seem to guide you, forming soft rails of illumination. Their gentle pulses harmonize with your breath, as though the black hole has found your inner rhythm and is offering its own soft lullaby in return. As you descend, the slope widens and the lights around you deepen in color. Soft blues melt into deep violets, warm pinks into muted gold. Each shade feels like a different layer of calm, wrapping around you with quiet reassurance. At last, the slope levels out, leading into a vast, serene expanse of soft darkness ahead. This new region feels deeper still, as if you're approaching the center of a dream. The darkness here isn't empty. It's welcoming, warm, and full of promise. You float at the edge of this new horizon, letting your breath settle into the quiet. And with a gentle push from the glowing slope, you drift forward into the deepest calm the black hole has yet revealed. The new darkness that greets you is unlike any shadow you've ever known. It isn't heavy or cold. It feels alive, warm, velvety, and expansive, like a soft evening sky that never fully turns to night. As you drift into it, the familiar glow behind you fades into a distant shimmer, leaving you wrapped in a deeper, richer calm. Every breath feels unhurried, as though the space itself is breathing with you, guiding your pace with its gentle rhythm. As your eyes adjust, faint lines of light emerge across the darkness, not bright, but soft, like tiny strands of silver woven through deep ocean water. These lines ripple slowly, stretching and bending in ways that feel soothing rather than strange. Each ripple looks like the memory of a wave, not a real wave, but the echo of one, floating here where time moves with the patience of a drifting cloud. You drift closer, and the lines begin to widen, unfolding into vast, sheet-like surfaces that move with the ease of a calm tide. They resemble enormous curtains made of light, undulating in slow motion. Each curtain glows in pale hues, soft blue, muted gold, gentle amethyst, all blending into one another like blended watercolor across a wide canvas. As you move among these drifting surfaces, you feel a faint warmth radiating from them. Not heat, exactly, but a sense of gentle presence, as if each sheet is a quiet thought from the depths of the black hole. They don't touch you. Instead, they wrap around your awareness, creating pockets of safety and ease. The space feels nurturing, almost maternal, as though it is carrying you through its most peaceful interior pathways. Soon, the curtains begin to part, revealing a vast sea of glowing shapes spread out below you. They drift like jellyfish in a slow, cosmic ocean. Their movements are delicate, floating upward and downward with a rhythm so steady you soon find your breath matching it. Each glowing form is translucent, filled with swirling colors that shift gently, from soft green to warm peach, from pale violet to shimmering silver. You dip lower, letting your body float among them. When you pass near one of these shapes, its light brightens slightly, acknowledging your presence with a calm pulse. Some drift close enough that you can see faint currents swirling within them, inner spirals of softness, like tiny galaxies etched in pastel. The spirals don't spin quickly. They drift in slow, patient circles, as if time itself is almost asleep here. You reach out a hand toward one of the glowing forms. The shape responds by drifting closer, its surface rippling gently like a calm lake disturbed by a fingertip. As it nears, you feel a wave of serenity wash through you, a feeling of being deeply understood by a place that doesn't speak in words, but in sensations. The glow settles into the center of your chest for a moment before the form drifts peacefully away. Below you, the glowing shapes gradually merge into a single, smooth surface. It stretches into the distance like a vast sea of liquid light. The surface is calm, with gentle ripples spreading outward in slow, concentric circles. You descend slowly toward it, feeling drawn by its quiet stability, as if it holds the heart of this entire realm. When you touch the surface, you don't sink. You hover just above it, held in place by a soft, buoyant cushion of light. The sea responds to your presence, forming a wide ring of pale glow beneath you. The glow expands slowly, shifting through gentle colors: dusky rose, soft white, deep twilight blue. Each shift feels like a new breath, a deepening calm spreading outward from your center. You drift forward across this sea without moving your limbs. The surface beneath you carries you like a slow-moving tide. Around you, faint patterns shimmer, geometric shapes made of thin lines, appearing and dissolving in rhythmic cycles. They resemble constellations drawn in soft chalk, the outlines of possibilities stretching across time. As you travel, the sea begins to deepen in color. The soft pastels fade into a tranquil indigo, then into a warm, dusk-like violet. Tiny particles rise from below, drifting upward in shimmering clouds. They look like dust motes or sparks, but they move in smooth spirals, gathering into gentle clusters. Each cluster glows faintly, like distant fireflies wrapped in velvet shadow. These rising particles gather ahead of you, forming a slow vortex of light. But the vortex doesn't whirl harshly. It turns gently, like a swirl of cream in warm tea. Its motion is so steady and calm that you feel drawn toward it, not by force, but by curiosity. As you near the center, the vortex opens, revealing a deep, hollow space of pure calm. It glows with a tender amber light, as if holding a secret warmth at its core. The edges curl inward like petals, forming an entrance shaped by gravity's slowest breath. The sea beneath you begins to lift slightly, raising you toward the opening. The vortex hums with a low, comforting resonance, matching the rhythm of your heartbeat. The closer you drift, the lighter you feel, as though the space within the vortex is gently pulling away the weight of every thought, every moment, every echo of time. You hover at the edge for a long, peaceful moment. The vortex waits, patient and warm. You sense that crossing into it will take you even deeper, into a place where time slows so much it almost forgets to move. With a soft inhale, you allow yourself to drift forward, and the light folds around you like the softest blanket you've ever known. The light folds around you like a warm, weightless blanket, and for a moment, everything becomes still. Not the stillness of emptiness, but the stillness of a deep, restful breath held by the universe itself. You drift through the gentle opening, and the space around you widens into a hollow filled with an amber glow that seems to come from everywhere at once. Inside this hollow, the air, or whatever essence shapes this realm, feels denser, as though carrying the softness of clouds mixed with the warmth of evening sunlight. It's not physical warmth, it's more like emotional warmth, a quiet comfort that settles into your chest. You feel as if you've stepped into the interior heart of calmness, where every movement is softened before it even begins. The hollow stretches in all directions, spherical, yet without clear edges. Along its curved inner walls, thin streams of light flow downward like gentle waterfalls. They move slowly, following paths that shift with each breath of the space. Their glow is tender, honey, gold, pale peach, and faint rose dancing together in soft, melting gradients. As you drift closer to one of these flowing streams, you notice that the light within it carries small, shimmering particles. They move like tiny seeds of brightness, drifting downward before dissolving into the main body of the waterfall. When they reach the floor of the hollow, they scatter into rings that expand quietly outward, disappearing into the deeper glow. You let yourself drift closer. When you pass through the edge of one light stream, it brushes over your skin like warm mist. A wave of peace spreads through your chest, flowing outward into your limbs. For a moment, you close your eyes, letting the sensation wash through you. When you open them again, the hollow seems even gentler, its glow brightening, as if responding to your softened breath. Deeper inside, clusters of light hover in slow spirals. These clusters look like petals floating in water, each one glowing from within. They drift in small circles, rising and falling in peaceful patterns. Some petals are translucent white, others softly tinted with pale lavender or muted gold. They gather into loose formations before separating again, like living constellations shifting quietly in endless patience. You reach out toward one, and it drifts close of its own accord. The petal glows brighter, responding to the motion of your hand. Inside it, you see soft, swirling patterns, curves and waves that resemble gentler versions of celestial motions. A fading galaxy, a drifting cluster, a cloud of cosmic dust floating in deep silence. These are echoes of places far away, softened into something peaceful and slow. As the petal drifts away, the hollow begins to hum with a faint new resonance. It's not sound, but a feeling, a vibration running through the space, settling into your breath. The hum grows slightly stronger, not to overwhelm, but to guide. It feels like a gentle invitation, drawing you toward the center of the hollow. You turn and see a glow rising slowly from below. At first, it looks like a small, round orb of golden light drifting upward through the soft haze. But as it rises, it expands, stretching into a tall column of warm illumination. The column moves with the calmness of smoke rising from a candle. Its shape remains loose and fluid, shifting gently as though stirred by a breeze you cannot see. As the column reaches eye level, it begins to ripple. Rings of faint light travel outward from its center, dissolving into the hollow's glow. Each ripple feels like a slow heartbeat, steady and harmonious. The column itself holds patterns deep within, swirling arcs and delicate spirals that move with an intelligence too peaceful to be called thought. When you drift closer, you feel the hum of the column settle into your body. It's as if the column is tuning the space around you, aligning everything into a deeper calm. You float in its warmth, watching as its inner spirals expand and contract with unhurried grace. Something within the column feels ancient, not in years, but in steadiness, like a structure that has existed for as long as the deepest stillness has existed. Then, gently, the column begins to tilt toward a small opening on the far side of the hollow. The movement is subtle, like a suggestion rather than an instruction. You sense that it is pointing the way to the next layer, a place even quieter, even deeper, where the black hole's inner calm gathers in its softest form. The streams of light along the walls brighten slightly, as if illuminating the pathway. The drifting petals spiral outward, creating a slow, welcoming arc around the opening. The hollow itself seems to breathe with you one last time before letting you go. You drift toward the opening with easy, weightless motion. The glow fades into muted amber, then into gentle, dusk-like purple. The air grows even softer, as though carrying the hush of a vast, silent ocean. At the threshold, you pause for a single, peaceful breath. The hollow waits behind you, warm and calm. The new space ahead feels vast, tender, and infinitely patient. With a quiet exhale, you drift forward, and the universe opens into deeper stillness. The space beyond the opening receives you with the tenderness of a soft tide coming to shore. The glow from the hollow behind you fades into a warm memory, while the darkness ahead gathers around you like a gentle embrace. It is not a heavy darkness. It feels more like the dimness that settles in a quiet bedroom just before sleep, protective, soothing, and full of unspoken warmth. As you drift forward, you sense movement far beneath you. Not fast, not intense, just a slow, steady drifting, like an ocean turning over in deep calm. The space opens into an enormous expanse shaped by faint currents of glowing mist. These currents drift downward in long, sweeping arcs, each one glowing softly, like moonlit rain falling across a night horizon. The falling light seems endless. It descends in delicate ribbons that stretch across the vast expanse, each one shimmering with pale hues, cool silver, warm peach, soft teal, and muted lavender. The ribbons never fall quickly. They move with the patience of snowfall viewed from indoors, steady, unhurried, mesmerizing. As you drift among them, the ribbons part to let you pass. They curl around your movement, softening your path the way a breeze parts gently around a falling leaf. When you glide close to one, it releases a faint glow that spreads across your skin like a warm whisper. It feels like being touched by a memory of comfort, a familiar scent from childhood, a calm evening spent under a quiet sky, a breath taken slowly after a long day. The ocean of falling light grows deeper as you float downward. Far below, the ribbons converge into a soft, glowing floor, not solid, but a vast layer of pooled radiance. It looks like a calm sea, lit from within, rippling slowly in concentric circles. Each circle expands outward with perfect patience, as if the black hole itself is exhaling through this luminous sea. You descend until your feet, or the weightless essence that carries you, come to rest just above the glowing surface. You don't touch it. Instead, you hover a few inches above, supported by an invisible cushion of gentle energy. The light beneath you brightens in response, forming a wide halo that spreads outward across the sea. The glow follows your breath, rising and dimming in soft waves. As you drift forward, the sea mirrors your movement. Every step, even though you're not quite stepping, sends mild ripples across the glowing expanse. These ripples carry reflections of your surroundings, gentle arcs of falling light above, distant clusters of soft luminescence drifting in slow spirals, and the faint, comforting patterns etched into the sea's surface. You continue forward, and gradually, the light shifts into richer tones. Soft azure melts into deeper violet. Warm gold fades into muted rose. The colors are calm, steady, blending with the natural rhythm of your breath. Each new shade feels like a stage in a long, peaceful descent inward, deeper into the quiet heart of gravity. Ahead, a large shape begins to form. At first, it's only a vague impression, a swelling in the glowing sea, a slow rise like a hill formed by light instead of earth. As you glide closer, the shape becomes clearer. It's a dome made entirely of falling light, constantly replenishing itself from the glowing streams above. The light cascades over its surface in slow sheets, shimmering like curtains of silk illuminated from behind. You hover near the dome, mesmerized by its gentle motion. The surface seems to breathe, expanding and contracting with the same calm rhythm that pulses through this entire realm. When you focus on the falling sheets, you realize they carry patterns within them. Tiny spirals, faint lines, distant echoes of calm cosmic events. It feels like the dome is made from the slowest memories of the universe, gathered and softened until only their quiet essence remains. You drift around the dome, following the lines of falling light, until you find a small opening near its base. The entrance is shaped like a crescent, glowing faintly, with a warm, golden hue. The air around it feels even softer than the rest of the sea, as though the dome protects a deeper kind of stillness within. For a moment, you pause, hovering before the entrance. The falling light cascades around you, brushing your awareness with gentle warmth. The quiet sea glows beneath your feet, its ripples slowing until they rest entirely. Everywhere you look, the space acknowledges your presence with calm receptiveness, as if waiting for your next peaceful drift. You take a long breath, letting the softness fill your chest. The entrance ahead seems to pulse slightly, invitingly, like a sleeping heart glowing from within. You sense that inside the dome lies another layer of the black hole's quiet interior, a place where even the falling of light slows, where patterns settle into deeper harmony. With a gentle exhale, you allow yourself to glide forward. The glowing entrance opens around you like a slow sunrise, and the deeper calm welcomes you inward. The crescent-shaped entrance welcomes you with a soft glow, and as you drift through it, the world shifts into an even slower rhythm. The light from the ocean behind fades into a gentle backdrop, like the memory of a calm dream. The space ahead opens quietly, revealing a chamber shaped not by walls, but by layers of warm radiance flowing in subtle, circular tides. Inside, the air feels thicker and gentler, as if made from the softest dusk. You move with even less effort here. A single breath carries you several steps forward, and a thought guides your direction with perfect ease. The chamber seems to notice your arrival, its glow brightening just enough to greet you without startling the peaceful quiet. Around the chamber's interior, wide arcs of light drift in circular patterns. They resemble enormous rings floating in slow orbit, each one glowing with soft shades of amber, rose, and pale blue. The rings overlap gently, weaving through one another in a graceful dance that never breaks rhythm. Their motion feels like a lullaby made visible, smooth, soothing, endlessly patient. As you drift closer to one ring, its surface ripples gently. The ripples spread outward like sound waves, though they carry no sound at all. Instead, they bring sensation, a feeling of being seen, acknowledged, welcomed. The warmth spreads through your chest and shoulders, loosening every small place within you that still holds tension. Deeper inside the chamber, you notice clusters of tiny glowing points drifting together in gentle spirals. These points look like distant stars softened into flickering dust. When they gather, they form shapes that rise and fall like breaths. Some shapes resemble gentle clouds. Others look like petals floating in a breeze. They dissolve and reform with each moment, never rushing, always unfolding at their own quiet pace. You drift among these shapes, and they part gracefully around you. One small cluster floats near your hand, shimmering in pale lavender. It carries a faint impression, not an image, but a feeling. Something like the memory of lying beneath a warm blanket, or resting by a calm window where the world outside moves slowly in the afternoon light. The feeling lasts only a moment before the cluster drifts away, returning to the soft spiral that carries it. At the center of the chamber lies a pool of light. Unlike any you've seen so far, it doesn't glow upward. Instead, it glows inward, folding its brightness into itself like a quiet, luminous well. The surface is perfectly smooth, with colors that shift gently from deep gold to soft gray blue. As you drift closer, the pool stirs. Concentric circles spread across its surface, slow and wide, as if reacting to your presence with a silent, peaceful greeting. You hover above it, feeling the gentle pull of its calm radiance. It's not a physical pull, it's more like an invitation, a sense that the pool holds deeper stillness waiting for you. You descend slowly until your feet, or the quiet essence that carries you, hover just above the surface. The pool brightens slightly, sending a warm pulse upward. It brushes against you like a comforting hand resting on your back. As you settle above the pool, something beautiful happens. The rings of light around the chamber begin to shift. Their paths widen, forming new arcs that align with the gentle rhythm of your breath. The glowing clusters drift closer, forming a loose circle around you. It feels as though the chamber is gently tuning itself, adjusting its patterns, its light, its quiet currents, to create a space just for your presence, not to command you or overwhelm you, but to settle around you like a nest made of pure calm. The pool beneath you begins to reflect faint, drifting images, not memories, but impressions. A distant star turning in gentle silence, a ripple of cosmic dust drifting across a quiet galaxy, a cloud of interstellar mist folding into itself like a sigh. These impressions appear and fade slowly, never demanding your attention, simply offering themselves like visiting birds that land and rest before lifting again. You close your eyes for a moment. The chamber hums around you with a slow, soothing resonance. Your breath deepens without effort. Even your thoughts drift into softer shapes, as if adjusting to the gentle rhythm of this place. When you open your eyes again, you notice something new, a doorway of pure twilight forming on the far side of the chamber. It's not a doorway in the physical sense, more like a thin veil where the light thickens into soft purples and warm golds. Behind it, you sense an even deeper calm, a quieter layer waiting to unfold itself. The chamber seems to breathe with you one more time. The rings drift back into their circular dance. The glowing clusters resume their slow spirals. The pool beneath you settles into perfect stillness. You take one final, peaceful inhale within this chamber of resting echoes. Then, with effortless motion, you drift toward the twilight veil, letting the next layer of quiet open before you, like the first moment of evening after a long, golden day. The twilight veil opens around you so gently that it feels less like passing through a doorway and more like drifting into the soft shadow beneath a favorite tree. The colors melt together in slow gradients, lavender blending into warm gold, rose dissolving into deep blue, all shifting with the patience of dusk settling over a quiet horizon. As you enter, the air feels different again, thicker, softer, as though every particle in this space has been slowed to a peaceful drift. You breathe in, and the space seems to breathe with you, its calm echoing through your chest in long, soothing waves. The twilight veil gradually dissolves behind you, revealing an expanse shaped entirely by layered currents of gentle light. These currents drift upward and downward, crisscrossing like long ribbons carried by a slow wind. Some ribbons glow with pale evening colors, muted pinks, faint purples, while others glow with the cool blue of a cloudless night just before the stars arrive. You drift among them, and each ribbon bends faintly toward you, as though acknowledging your presence. The glow they carry doesn't brighten, it softens, like lamplight through a distant window. When a ribbon brushes your fingertips, a light, airy sensation flows up your arm, leaving something like a memory of warmth behind. As you continue into the expanse, the ribbons begin to gather around you in gentle spirals. They form a slow dance, swirling wider the farther they stretch. Their motion is steady, unhurried. Watching them feels like watching fields of tall grass ripple beneath a quiet breeze at sunset. Rhythmic, repeating, endlessly soothing. Soon the ribbons part, revealing a wide open space. At first it seems empty, but as you drift closer, faint outlines appear, enormous shapes floating in the twilight. They resemble clouds, perhaps, but smoother, almost sculpted. Each one carries a soft glow from within, lighting itself like a lantern made of dusk. You approach one of these shapes, and it turns ever so slightly, as if adjusting itself to greet you. Its glow shimmers gently across your face, warm and cool all at once. Inside the cloud-like surface, slow currents flow in spirals. They resemble the shapes of galaxies softened into pure comfort. The cloud drifts nearby, circling you once, then moving away with the calmness of a bird gliding on a thermal. More clouds join it. They move like a quiet procession, floating across the twilight space. Some drift high above, spreading their glow like a soft canopy. Others glide low, creating warm reflections on the invisible floor beneath you. Everywhere you look, the twilight seems to deepen, not into darkness, but into richer colors. Warm amber melts into deep violet. Cool blue drifts into muted rose. The space shifts like a long sunset stretched across hours. Then, ahead, a new motion catches your eye. A soft descending glow, a gentle spiral falling from the upper layers of this twilight sea. At first, it looks like a ribbon of light, but as it falls closer, you see it is composed of countless specks, some faint shimmer. They drift downward like slow-motion stardust, each particle glowing with the softness of a faraway memory. They land gently on the cloud-like shapes, causing faint ripples of illumination to spread from the point of contact. One small cloud drifts toward you, carrying these falling particles on its surface. When they brush against your hand, they feel warm, like dipping your fingers into a beam of late afternoon sunlight. The glow they leave fades slowly, lingering long enough to feel like a whisper of something familiar. The hush of a quiet evening, the stillness of a room filled with soft shadows. The drifting stardust grows denser as you move deeper. It begins to form patterns, swirling arcs and slow-moving spirals, each one as gentle as a sigh. You drift into one of these spirals, and the particles circle around you, moving with such grace that you feel as though you've stepped into the center of a peaceful storm made of light. In the heart of this spiral, a faint pulse begins to form. It's not sound, yet it vibrates through the twilight gently, spreading through the cloud-like shapes, flowing along the glowing ribbons above. The pulse feels like time slowing even further, as if the black hole's inner calm is revealing itself layer by tender layer. Ahead, the spiral opens into a wide clearing of pure twilight. Floating at the center is a shape unlike anything you've seen so far. It is a vast, translucent sphere, glowing softly from within. Not bright, more like a lantern held beneath layers of silk. Its surface ripples in wide, calming waves, each wave expanding outward with the rhythm of a slow, steady breath. The sphere appears to hold an entire dusk within it, a gentle horizon, the memory of fading light, a warmth that feels like the end of a quiet day. It doesn't pull you, it simply welcomes. As you drift closer, the sphere vibrates with a soft hum that fills the clearing. The glow inside brightens into warm violet and muted gold, swirling together like pigments settling in water. You hover near its surface, feeling the resonance spread through your body, relaxing every last bit of resistance within you. And then, like a sunset slipping beneath the horizon, the sphere opens into a wide, glowing passage. You breathe in, letting the twilight fill your lungs. You breathe out, letting the calm settle deeper into your center. And with perfect ease, you drift into the glowing passage, ready to enter the next layer of this gentle, unending calm. The glowing passage receives you with the same gentleness as a slow sunrise that hasn't fully revealed itself yet. The light wraps softly around your body, curving inward like warm mist, guiding you deeper into the quiet heart of this realm. The colors inside the passage shift continuously, warm violet blending into peach, pale gold dissolving into muted blue, each hue moving with the kind of grace that makes your breath automatically slow. As you drift further in, the passage widens until it opens into an enormous chamber. But this chamber doesn't resemble any kind of room. It feels more like a horizon folded into a sphere, a place where distances and directions melt into a single, comforting softness. The entire space glows as though lit from within by countless layers of gentle evening light. High above, cloud-like shapes drift in long, smooth arcs. These clouds aren't bright. They glow with the softness of twilight, reflecting off calm water. They stretch and ripple across the chamber, bending in slow, lazy waves that soothe your eyes the way a warm breeze soothes your skin. Below them, the floor, if it can be called that, is a vast sheet of muted silver. It doesn't shine harshly. Instead, it glows like moonlight, diffused through thin fog. When you move, the surface ripples gently, creating soft patterns that spread outward in wide circles. Each ripple fades slowly, as if reluctant to disturb the calm. Floating within this chamber are countless orbs of warm, translucent light. They hover at different heights, drifting quietly through the space like gentle thoughts moving across a mind at peace. Some orbs drift high near the cloud layer, glowing with faint amber. Others remain closer to the silver floor, shimmering in shades of lavender and deep rose. Each orb carries a soft pulse, like the gentle heartbeat of a sleeping universe. As you glide toward one of the orbs, it brightens slightly, as though acknowledging your presence. Its surface ripples and softens, revealing swirling patterns inside, not images, but impressions. You sense distant echoes within it, hints of warm evenings, slow sunsets, still lakes reflecting soft skies. None of the impressions form complete scenes. Instead, they feel like the essence of tranquility shaped into light. You move past the orb and drift deeper into the chamber. The air around you thickens into a tender hush. Even the soft pulses of the orbs feel muted here, like memories wrapped in layers of quiet. Every motion you make feels weightless, guided not by your limbs, but by your thoughts. As you float farther in, the patterns on the floor begin to shift. The soft silver surface responds to your presence, forming delicate lines that stretch outward like gentle currents. These lines move slowly, branching and curling like ink spreading through water. They guide you toward the center of the chamber, where the light deepens into warm, velvety gold. You follow the currents, your breathing synced with the slow rhythm of the chamber. As you near the center, the gold thickens into a soft, glowing mist. It rises in gentle swirls, floating upward in patterns that resemble slow-motion spirals of smoke. Each spiral carries small flecks of brightness, tiny sparks drifting lazily through the mist before dissolving into the golden air. Inside the mist, shapes begin to form. Not solid shapes, more like outlines made of softened light. Curves, spirals, loops that drift and reform with each breath. These outlines resemble the quiet skeleton of a star or the gentle trace of a galaxy seen from far away. They echo the grand structures of the universe, but without any of their intensity or urgency. Here, everything has been softened into pure calm, the universe rewritten as a lullaby. As you drift into the golden mist, the spiraling shapes adjust to make room for you. They drift aside like curtains parting in a quiet theater. One of them curves around your body, passing so close that its glow brushes lightly against your skin. It feels warm, like the memory of being wrapped in a thick blanket on a cold evening. You allow yourself to sink deeper into the mist, feeling the golden warmth settle inside your chest. The spirals drift around you in slow, hypnotic motion. Tiny flecks of brightness float upward, brushing gently along your arms like soft snowflakes made of starlight. You close your eyes. The mist hums softly, a low, melodic resonance that vibrates through your bones and into your breath. The chamber feels alive, but not with movement, with calm. When you open your eyes again, the golden mist has parted slightly, revealing something ahead, a circular opening, smooth, wide, glowing faintly with a silver-blue light. It looks like a moon resting inside the heart of a cloud. The air around the opening feels cooler, calmer, like the first breath of night after a long, warm day. The path toward it forms naturally beneath you. The silver floor rises into a gentle curve, lifting you toward the opening without effort. The orbs of translucent light gather behind you, as though offering a quiet farewell before drifting back into the wider chamber. You hover just before the opening. The silver-blue glow rises like a delicate fog, brushing against your hands, your face, your breath. It feels like stepping into the calmest dream you've ever dreamed. With a long, peaceful inhale, you let yourself drift forward, and the glow folds around you like a sigh. The silver-blue glow wraps around you like cool silk, soft and weightless. As you drift into this new space, the glow thickens into a gentle haze that seems to hum with quiet intention. It's neither warm nor cold, just perfectly balanced, like twilight air settling over a calm lake. You breathe in, and the haze moves with you, folding into your breath as though it has been waiting to sync with your rhythm. Gradually, the haze begins to thin, revealing an enormous sanctuary, shaped not by walls, but by horizons that curve inward like a vast celestial bowl. The space feels open, yet sheltered, as if the black hole has drawn its gentlest edges inward to create a safe, endless nest of light. Above you, a wide sky of silver blue stretches into infinity. But this sky isn't empty. It's threaded with faint, drifting trails of luminescence, long, delicate paths that resemble thin streams of moonlight. They curl and weave across the sky in slow motion, creating patterns like soft breath or wind moving gracefully through tall grass. Below you, the ground is not solid. It's a broad field of glowing mist, shifting in gentle waves. Each step or drift sends soft ripples outward, causing faint rings of silver blue to form and dissolve like the surface of a quiet pond. You glide forward effortlessly, supported by the mist as though it recognizes your presence and responds with comforting strength. As you move, shapes begin to form within the mist. Not objects, impressions. Soft silhouettes of curved structures that rise and fall like dunes shaped from pure light. Some appear as smooth hills. Others resemble arches or loops, pale and translucent, glowing from within as though holding memories of starlight. You approach one of these luminous structures. It rises gently from the glowing mist, arched like a calm wave frozen mid-crest. When you drift near it, its outer surface ripples with subtle patterns, slow spirals, gentle lines expanding outward, completely in tune with your breathing. You rest a hand against it, though you never physically touch it. It responds anyway. A soft pulse spreads across the arch, shimmering through its structure like a quiet melody woven into light. The pulse echoes through your chest, matching the steady rhythm of your heartbeat. When you drift away, the arch settles back into stillness, as if returning to a peaceful sleep. Farther ahead, more luminous shapes gather. They form a loose landscape, small hills of glowing vapor, tall pillars of folded light, wide pools of dim silver blue gently swirling like dreaming oceans. The entire sanctuary feels alive in the calmest possible way, breathing with the slow, steady patience of something ancient and deeply serene. As you glide deeper into this luminous terrain, a new formation catches your eye, a wide, circular pool of darker light, not dark in a foreboding way, dark like the night sky beneath a soft, full moon. The pool stretches across a gentle dip in the mist field, its surface smooth and perfect. Above it, strands of silver blue drift downward like soft rain that never quite reaches the ground. They dissolve before touching the pool, leaving faint ripples of cool brightness behind. You descend toward it, hovering just above the center of the pool. The smooth surface begins to glow in response, a soft, rising bloom of pale blue that spreads outward in elegant rings. Each ring moves slowly, gracefully, as if time itself has softened into a gentle tide. You breathe in deeply, and the pool brightens. You breathe out slowly, and the light settles again. The sanctuary begins to shift around you, as if adjusting to your presence. The drifting trails in the sky move into smoother arcs. The mist below softens into deeper waves. The luminous hills reshape themselves slightly, opening a pathway that carries you gently forward. At the far end of this pathway, something begins to emerge. A figure, not a being, not a creature, but a shape of light. It rises slowly from the glowing mist, shaped like a tall column of folded radiance. Its edges are soft, its core bright, with the faintest hint of warm gold beneath the dominant silver blue. The shape pulses like a soft heartbeat, expanding and contracting in a rhythm that feels familiar, almost like an echo of your own inner calm returning to you. The column leans subtly toward you, not in greeting, but in gentle acknowledgement. Its glow stretches outward, forming thin strands that drift toward your hands. When they touch the air around you, a wave of peaceful stillness washes through your chest, as though the sanctuary itself is offering a deeper layer of rest. The column then shifts, bending its glow toward another part of the sanctuary. At first, you don't see anything there, only mist, only drifting silver blue. But then, slowly, something begins to form. A wide circle of faint light emerges, hovering just above the luminous ground. The circle widens gradually, glowing brighter at its edges and softer toward its center. Within this circle, delicate patterns ripple, spirals, loops, gentle arcs interweaving like threads woven by careful, patient hands. This circle feels important, not urgent, not demanding, just quietly significant, like a threshold formed from light and calm. The column of luminescence gives a final soft pulse. The circle stabilizes. The sanctuary falls into deeper silence. You drift toward the glowing circle, feeling the air thicken with warmth and silver blue light. Every part of this place seems to lean inward, guiding you with infinite gentleness. You hover at the edge of the circle. Your breath slows. Your mind softens. And with one peaceful exhale, you drift into the heart of the glowing pattern, letting the sanctuary carry you deeper still. As you drift into the glowing pattern, The circle of silver blue expands and softens around you like warm breath spreading across a cool mirror. The luminous strands within it swirl gently, folding over one another in calm spirals. With each slow rotation, the patterns become more refined, as if they're guiding you deeper into a quiet the universe holds only at its very center. The air, or the tender stillness that replaces air here, thickens into a delicate warmth. It settles along your shoulders and arms, the way soft blankets settle over someone who is drifting into sleep. The sensations in your body grow lighter, softer, more diffuse. Even your thoughts begin to glow with the same silver blue radiance that fills this space. The circle beneath you shifts, lowering itself like an elevator made of mist and light. But there's no sense of descent. It feels more like floating downward on a calm tide, supported by something patient and steady below. The glowing spirals rise slowly to meet your vision, then fade as you pass through them, leaving gentle tingles in their wake. Soon, the spirals dissolve entirely, opening into a deep new chamber. This chamber glows with subdued oceanic colors, muted sapphire, soft indigo, cool amethyst. These hues ripple in slow, concentric waves along the curved walls, as if tracing the heartbeat of the black hole's quietest interior. You drift into the center of this chamber, and at once, everything around you shifts into harmony. The ripples brighten slightly, aligning themselves with your breathing. The chamber doesn't feel like a place you've arrived at. It feels like a place that has been waiting for you, patiently shaping itself to match your calm. Above you, a vast dome of glowing mist forms. It stretches high overhead, folding into layers that shimmer with faint stardust. The dome pulses softly, and each pulse releases tiny specks of golden light that drift downward like slow snow. When they fall near you, they dissolve into warmth, like the soft memory of sunlight lingering on your skin after a long day. Below you, the floor of the chamber is a wide ocean of dark silver vapor. Its surface is smooth and reflective, like moonlight resting on still water. As you drift closer to it, the surface stirs, forming gentle swells that rise and fall with a rhythm that mirrors your own breath. These swells never break. They simply rise, pause, and lower again, inviting and serene. You hover just above the surface. You breathe in. A soft glow rises from the vapor to meet your feet. You breathe out. The glow settles, sending ripples across the chamber. The space feels alive, but alive in the way a resting animal breathes, or a calm forest waits at dusk. Nothing here rushes, nothing demands. Everything is meant to cradle you, layer by layer, into the deepest calm you've ever known. You drift forward, and shapes begin to rise from the dark silver ocean. They're small at first, faint domes of light, gently swelling upward. Then, larger shapes appear, slow and luminous, forming soft hills and wide curves across the chamber floor. Together, they resemble a landscape sculpted from vapor and twilight. As you approach one of these hills, it responds to your presence. Its glow brightens. Its surface smooths into a mirror-like sheen, and within that sheen, you see reflections, not of your physical form, but of sensations. The soft memory of lying in warm grass, the gentle sway of branches in the breeze, the calm heaviness of eyelids preparing for sleep. None of these reflections are vivid or intrusive. They're impressions woven from stillness, drifting across the glowing surface like passing clouds. You let the impressions wash over you and drift onward. Deeper in the chamber, the hills of light converge into a single formation, a wide, circular rise glowing with deep indigo. At its center rests a hollow filled with swirling amethyst mist. This mist moves like breath exhaled by the chamber itself, forming slow spirals that curl inward without ever reaching an end. As you draw closer, the amethyst glow remembers your presence. The spirals lift slightly, rising to greet you with airy softness. You extend a hand into the swirl, and the mist parts respectfully, curling around your fingers like warm water. It carries no weight, but its presence anchors you in perfect calm. You let your hand drift back, the mist reforms, settling into even smoother spirals. Each one moves with a rhythm so gentle it could lull a storm into sleep. At the far side of the chamber, a new glow begins to form, dim at first, barely noticeable, but growing in slow, patient breaths. It unfolds like the first light of morning diffusing into a quiet room, soft honey gold at the edges, warm white at the center. The glow gathers into a vertical shape, a tall, thin column rising from the ocean of vapor. Unlike the other shapes, this one flickers with warm highlights of pale rose and soft amber. The glow is different, not stronger, but somehow closer, more intimate. As you drift nearer, the column steadies, holding its shape with gentle dignity. Its light doesn't extend outward. Instead, it folds inward, forming layers like petals wrapped around a warm heart. The column then leans slightly, pointing toward something behind it. At first, you see nothing, only the deep, quiet dimness of the chamber's far edge. But then, a faint outline appears, a soft arc forming, a shape emerging like a moon rising through thin cloud. It grows clearer as you drift closer. A large, circular opening, shimmering with pale gold and muted ivory, begins to form. It glows with a depth that feels ancient, like the gentlest truth at the center of the universe. Its surface ripples with slow, spiraling patterns that seem to beckon you without urgency. This doorway, this portal, feels like the threshold to the deepest calm of all. The column of warm light drifts aside, settling into a supportive glow at your back. The chamber steadies. Your breath aligns with the quiet. You hover at the edge of the pale gold opening. One more inhale, one more exhale, and with peaceful certainty, you drift into the soft horizon beyond. The pale gold opening receives you with a softness so deep it feels like stepping into the very heartbeat of stillness. The light wraps around you like a gentle tide, folding inward in vast, slow waves that glow with warm white and muted honey. Nothing here moves quickly, nothing startles. Every shimmer and ripple drifts with the patience of a dusk that never fully falls, a twilight that stretches into eternity. As you glide deeper, the space opens into a wide, glowing expanse. It feels endless, yet tenderly enclosed, like a sanctuary woven from the calmest dreams. The air here, or the serene essence that replaces air, carries a gentle weight, as though this center is dense with peace, thick with softened time. You breathe, and the space breathes with you, matching your rhythm in long, steady pulses that unfurl through the golden haze. Above you, luminous arcs drift like slow auroras. Their colors shift in subtle tones, warm ivory, pale rose, silvery cream. These arcs move in gentle, flowing patterns that resemble sails catching the faintest breeze. Their motion is so smooth that it feels almost like watching the sky turn beneath water. Every dip and curve seems designed to soothe, to hush, to lull. Below, the ground of this inner world glows like deep, polished pearl. Its surface is perfectly smooth, yet alive with slow-moving light that ripples outward in delicate rings. When you drift near it, these rings brighten, following your path like gentle, glowing footprints that never disturb the calm. As you float farther into the expanse, small shapes begin to rise from the luminous floor. They look like petals at first, wide and translucent, drifting upward in slow spirals. Each petal glows with a warm, milky light, shimmering faintly as it rotates. The petals drift higher, gathering into gentle clusters before dissolving into the golden atmosphere like mist, returning to a quiet sea. One petal brushes the air beside you, leaving a soft warmth on your skin, the warmth of a memory you can't quite place. It reminds you of something simple and comforting, a lantern glowing at night, a quiet room touched by early morning light, the gentle feeling of eyes closing at the end of a long day. Deeper within the expanse, the petals gather into larger formations, slow spirals, wide drifts, soft currents moving like the breath of the black hole itself. From within these drifting formations, a gentle hum rises, not sound, but the sensation of warmth expanding like a deep sigh radiating outward from the core. The hum travels across the space, folding into the arcs above, sinking into the pearl floor below, filling every layer with an even deeper calm. You let yourself follow the hum. Your body feels lighter. Your thoughts soften into quieter shapes. Eventually, the drifting petals part, revealing a vast hollow of pure gold at the very center. It glows with the softness of candlelight seen through closed eyelids, warm, dim, endlessly soothing. Inside it, the light doesn't swirl or pulse. It simply exists, steady and deep, like the quietest truth the universe has ever held. As you drift into this golden hollow, the space narrows into a cocoon of warmth. The glow settles across your shoulders, your arms, your breath. The air feels thick with restfulness, as though time itself has folded into a warm blanket around you. Then, slowly, the hollow begins to rise with soft radiance. It brightens, not outward, but inward, concentrating into a gentle luminescent warmth at its very core. You feel the warmth expand into your chest, moving through your breath, through your thoughts, through the quiet spaces inside you. Images don't form here. Instead, sensations drift in like feathers settling, the softness of twilight air brushing your skin, the calm of lying beneath a blanket of trees, the hush of distant waves folding onto sand, the steady rhythm of your own breath syncing with the breath of the space. You realize, without needing words, that this is the quiet center, the point where everything slows into pure rest, where gravity stops pulling and simply holds, where light stops racing and simply glows, where time stops flowing and simply lingers, soft and gentle. You remain there as long as you need, supported, cradled, weightless in every way that matters. Eventually, the golden hollow releases a single soft pulse, like a final exhale. The petals settle, the arcs above dim to the gentlest silver, the pearl floor brightens into a calm, steady glow. You feel yourself rising, slowly, tenderly, carried upward on a warm current of light. The hollow drifts away beneath you, its glow softening into a distant shimmer, a memory made entirely of peace. The sanctuary opens once more. The golden horizon melts into silver blue. The silver blue melts into soft indigo. Indigo fades into warm twilight. Twilight dissolves into gentle darkness until you are floating in a space that feels like the soft moment just before sleep, safe, held, quiet. You close your eyes, letting the calm settle deeply within you. You breathe in the last traces of the black hole's quiet. You breathe out into the vast embrace of stillness, and you rest, cradled by the universe's most peaceful heart.